Alright, let's see how this works. I have like an hour. So, quick status update from last night. Hopefully this counts as a new day. I don't know when the 24-hour mark breaks off for Unity. We'll find out, or for Twitch, we'll find out. So we can run around. If I pull the trigger, we spray bullets. There are some things I want to do to change the bullets. But for now, we've got the main idea working right, and then we can start tweaking stuff. Interesting. Problem with rotation. Oh, because you're walking away as you shoot. So, that's what we got going on. So now we need to get enemies spawning. So first, let's create an enemy, I guess. These are going to be cubes. And I cannot hear the Sonic music and not just like bob my head. It's so good. Alright, this cube is evil. It's a monster cube. Let's make it an evil orange monster cube. Perfect. Alright, so I think to get the patrolling stuff done, we're actually gonna have to do a couple things. We're gonna have to add a nav mesh agent to this character here. I don't know what that big circle is, but we'll find out. Why is my character's radius so big? Did I put it on the player or on the plane? That's why. Because I clicked the plane and I put the nav mesh agent on the plane. That's not what we want. Not on the player. I don't think we don't actually need that. Now that I'm thinking about it, we can just use player's position. Alright, so we have an enemy. So first things first, let's bake a nav mesh. So on this plane, let's add a nav mesh. Actually, we'll just mark it as nothing static, and then navigation static. And then we'll go window, AI, navigation, and bake. Boop. Good enough, I think. I think we can still move our player around. That shouldn't mess with anything. Cool, and stuff's bouncing off the cube. Okay, so we're good there. So then, really, it's just about giving our cube is going to need a nav mesh agent. It'll be humanoid, that's fine. Speed 3.5, angular speed. And I think what I want to do is actually just have them pursue constantly, right? Like, I don't want to patrol behavior. That's actually easier. So, let's create a script. Call it enemy. So we want the enemy script to control everything. We need to get a using statement so we have access to stuff. So using Unity Engine .ai. Agent equals get component. So I'm gonna grab this. Let's see. So now we've got our nav mesh agent. I would say maybe they update on a delay. So Maybe let's get rid of update here. I wonder if I could do something like date player position. Yeah, let's do this. So we're gonna do a coroutine, and I think I can do this without breaking the world. So yield return null is gonna break it. I could also do just yield return break. Let's just do yield return null. That should end the coroutine. So let's do a. Let's have a variable. Do update gap. Make sure that's camel cased. And I think from there, what we can do. Also, what's good to the viewer that popped in? Good to see you. I think from here, we've got the update player position. So what we'll do is we'll just do turn new, wait 4 seconds. We're just gonna have it wait for the update gap. No, Grammy, what's up, dude? Oh, is my voice being weird? Hold on, it's my microphone setting. Let me see if I can fix it. That, I think, fixes it, I hope. Alright, let me know if that fixes it. No, Grammy. Also, how you doing, brother? Cool. Yeah, it was so the interface I'm using in my office setup is a pro recording interface. I'm good, man, just chilling. Needed a break from the office grind. I've been hitting it hard, and I thought I want to work on this prototype a bit. So if we yield return new wait for seconds, it's going to wait as long as we tell it, and then it will do something. So what I'm going to do after that is I'm just going to say enemy agent dot position, or actually dot destination, equals player dot transform dot position. Thanks for auto-filling that. I didn't want you to do that. Also, I can't spell transform. I didn't get to listen to you on Salt Mine League yet, dude. I gotta watch the VODs. How'd it go? Sounds like y'all were killing it, but I was running errands. And then we'll do transform. If I do that, I can actually delete this. And then transform player. And then in start, I can just say, whatever, dude, you're super. You two are both awesome commentators. I'm sure you were riding just fine. Alright, so player equals find game object. I think I've got to use the game object. Game object dot find game object with tag player. So that should find the player, and then we'll just say dot transform. So find the player. There should only be one of those, and then snap its transform, and then we can just set this. So basically, every X amount of time, the enemy is going to grab it and then look for the player destination and update its heading. So let's see if this actually works. I think I have to do start coroutine, update player position. That's. And I think we're good. So then let's jump back to my enemy inside of Unity. Zoom in. We'll add this on here. And we'll say the update gap is 1.0. This has a nav mesh agent, so we're good there. And let's just put it like back here. And theoretically, if I hit play, this might work, or it might just throw errors. Let's find out. Hell yeah, look at that. Oh, but it didn't update. Okay. So it did set the destination, and once it got to the destination, it stopped. So all we need to do then... This is where I'm not sure. I think I can just say start coroutine, update player position in the coroutine? So one of two things is going to happen. I will have coded this right, and it's going to run wonderfully, or I'm going to create a memory leak, and Unity's going to crash, and I'm going to have to restart my PC. So, I don't know, maybe? See what happens? How's the rest of chat doing? I see there's 3 of you watching. Hello. So here we go. I'm going to push play and see if the world explodes. Alright, so far we good? So now, every second, this cube should, like, try to change where it's going. Yeah, look at him chase me. Look at him. Look at him chase me. And I can shoot it and like, get away from me. Alright, so we have basic enemy behavior now, right? Like, this thing is coming at me. And we can worry about, like, enemy speed and a few other things, right? We can start tweaking those variables. But right now, I'm getting chased by a cube, and that was the goal. So, for now, let's make a prefab of this, but let's actually name it... Let's name it enemy, and I'm actually going to tag it as such as well, just in case I need to use the tag for anything. So we're going to save that tag. Did it actually save? No. Back to our enemy. We'll tag it. I don't want it to be new tag. What is the deal? Can I edit this tag? I'll just delete it. Oh boy. Yeah, I really wish I would have caught that stream with you guys. I really wanted to watch it. Like I said, I'll get on the VODs as soon as I can. Because I am a big Nogoremi and Cola fan. If you didn't know. Alright, so now we have an enemy prefab. So prefabs, right, I can just drop them in. Theoretically now, all 5 of these should just chase me around the map. Let's make sure that works. Make sure there's no weird, like, instance-specific code. Oh no, they're coming! Dun 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 dun. Ah! Okay, cool. So now I can be chased by monsters, and they slowly update and come after me. So that's pretty fun. Nav meshes are awesome. Oh, I don't want to think about trying to do that without nav meshes. I mean, I'm sure I could, but it would take way longer than Natchez did. Alright, so now we need to spawn enemies. And there is one thing I want to do with the enemy. I'm going to do this outside of the normal class. We're going to make a public... Wow, I cannot remember the variable type now. Holy crap. Hold on. New text list class. I cannot think of the name of this thing. If anybody in the chat can think of it, it's basically how I declare a variable to have a drop down like this. Holy crap. My brain is not... Let's see what I got in this autocomplete. Maybe it'll help me remember. It's not a struct. It's like a struct. Enum. It's an enum. Public enum. Character difficulty. Okay. We're going to declare this enum, and we're going to have it easy. Medium. Hard. And boss. I am legit forgetting how enums work. And who am I today? Do I just do words? There we go. My goodness, that was way harder than it should have been. But then I can go up here and do serialize field. Character difficulty. So trying to stream on your lunch break does it. Alright, so now we have this enum, and I can mess with that enum later. The whole reason I wanted that is so now when I click on an enemy, I can set their difficulty, right? And then we can use that to modify like health values and things like that later on in the gameplay. I just figured I'd have it there. I'm gonna change this update gap to 2 on the prefab. And that should... override, so all these should update. So now let's build a spawner. So we need to build an empty. We'll put the empty like over here, maybe. Yeah, that's a good spawn point. Alright, cool. Got like 30 minutes to finish this thing, maybe 45. So we've got this game object, it's an empty. We're going to call it spawn point. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You could do like a spawn manager. And the way a spawn manager would work is you would essentially have a spawn manager that has an array of spawn points, and then it would pick the enemy to spawn and shoot him to the spawn points, right? It would have an array of spawn points, and then it would shoot them to that. And I actually like that option quite a bit. That way you have one thing controlling your spawn. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Because really all the spawn point needs to have is this, is like an empty and the name spawn point. Oops, don't replace that. So let me show you what I mean by that. So now we're going to create another empty. We're going to call it spawn manager. And then we're going to add a component, and it's going to be a script called spawn manager. And we'll need to create that script. We'll create it, add it. It'll take a second. I think it puts that script in the assets, so I'm going to drag it to the scripts folder so I can keep everything organized. And then we're going to edit the script. So now we have our spawn manager. So we're going to need an array of transforms. Again, I want to keep it private. Form, array, spawn locations. Right, so this is the array of all of our spawn locations. Then we're also going to have an array of monsters. So we're going to have serialized field, game object, array, enemies. Right? Now we could do this a bunch of different ways. Like if we have like 5 or 6 different classes of enemies, we could have tons of different stuff. For now, I just want to have it spawn a random enemy at a random at a random spawn point location, right? And just watch that work. So we shouldn't need to initialize anything. Actually, I'm going to name this enemies to spawn. And I'm also going to do one more thing. I'm going to make another array. This one's going to be private. We don't actually need this. Actually, it's going to be a list, too. So we're going to do list of game objects. And we're going to call it enemies in game. So what I'm doing with this is basically we're going to have a list called enemies in game, and whenever it spawns an enemy, that enemy is going to be put in this list. So say maybe we want the game to end if we've killed every enemy that's in game, right? and we're spawning them all at once, we can actually get an easy count of how many enemies are in the scene at any given moment, because we can just check the size of the list. And when we kill an enemy, we can remove it from the list and destroy it. So it's just a really good way to kind of track your enemies in the game. So I'm setting that up just in case we need that for gameplay elements later. So I am gonna write. I'm gonna write a class that or a method that returns a game object, and I'm gonna call it get random enemy. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna return. Let's see. It's gonna return It's gonna return enemies to spawn at random.range. Oh my gosh, come on, don't autocorrect complete for me. 0, enemies to spawn dot length. So I'm basically saying, hey, shoot me at a random enemy. I'm actually going to do this as well. I'm going to have public transform get random spawn point, and we're going to return spawn locations length. So grab me a random spawn. Let's get rid of this. Don't need copy pasting. It's not always your friend. So same thing, right? Generate a random number. And I think what we can do is we can have a spawning coroutine. I think. Again, this might cause a memory leak. I'm always worried about that, but we'll find out real quick. So we're going to do a coroutine. So IEnumerator. We're going to call this spawn enemies. That is not how you do that. And then from here, by the way, in the chat, let me know if the font size is okay for you. I blew it up last night to make it bigger, so I think it's better, but you never know. And if you're learning something, hit follow. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in there. I'm happy to try to answer them as best I can. Would Unity spot the memory leak in the console? The Selks? No, it will not. It will simply crash. And then you will have to actually completely restart the engine. So, no, it will not catch that. We will know if my computer implodes. Okay, perfect. If the font size is good on your phone, I'm assuming it's good on a computer then. So for spawn enemies, we are going to want to customize a couple of things. So we do need float. We'll call it a spawn interval. So how fast are we spawning enemies, right? And this is something I would imagine. Yeah, I wish it did. I don't know the technical reasons to why it doesn't tell you that. Like, it will give you warnings if it sees, like, circular stuff sometimes, but for the most part, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and you'll learn when Unity crashes. Alright, so we got spawn enemies, and we have a spawn gap, or a spawn interval. I'm also going to set something to... we need to know if the game's running. So I'm going to have to write a game manager for this in a second. But for now, let's just say when spawn enemies runs, we're going to say yield. Actually, that's not what I want to do. We're going to do enemies. All right, we'll make a game object equals instantiate get random enemy. And we want them to instantiate at a random spawn point. So I think we could actually just get random spawn point, because the set is the child, and I think that'll snap all the data. Yeah, I think that'll do it. And then we want to add it to our list, right? So enemies in game dot add go. It should be that easy. So that's our spawn enemies, and we're going to say do that. Yield return new. Wait 4 seconds. Spawn interval. And then we can basically just say start coroutine. I cannot type today. And then start. See how this works. And shout out to Mick Gordon for being one of the best music producers in the gaming industry. The Doom soundtrack is so good. So we go to my spawn manager. We got some console errors. What's the console saying? Oh. That's why. Game objects cannot be found. Alright, where am I trying to call for game objects? Type or namespace game objects cannot be found. Spawn manager CS2, 12, and 10. 12. Oh, duh. There it is. Talking and typing. Alright. So theoretically, we'll set the spawn interval to 2.0. We'll set the spawn locations to just the one spawn point right now. And enemies to spawn, we're just going to set... Actually, I'm gonna grab this one right here, and we're gonna add a different prototype just so we know a different one has spawned. Let's see. I just want your prototype materials. We'll do like a purple, and we'll do like a blue. We'll go back to our prefabs folder, and we've got you. Get in here, original prefab. We're gonna name you. Can I open you in the prefab editor and then rename you? Okay, rename that file. Your name's fine. Your name's fine. Let's go back to the scene. Let's grab blue here. You need to be an original prefab. Enemy 4 is fine. Let's go back to our spawn manager. We have our spawn point. Let's add our enemies to spawn. So we have enemy and enemy 4. Alright, so we have 3 enemies. We have a spawn interval. Theoretically, if I didn't break this... Alright, so they are spawning. And they're running after me. So things we need to figure out. Spawning over here, but it's here. My guess is the prefab has positioning data stored with it, which is what I'm seeing here. So we're going to go ahead and reset the position on all these prefabs. So it's spawning it at that position with this data stored. And it's offsetting it from the spawn point. So this should spawn on the spawn point now, I think. Hey, look at that. Is it spawning right away? It's interesting to like... I know what's up, because the update tick, right? So it's spawning, and then it's waiting to update its position, and then it's heading off. So we're seeing this kind of flowing movement, right? Because the update tick and the spawning tick is actually the same pace. Makes sense. And now, I'm just getting bullied, right? Like, my poor guy's just getting pushed around by all these monsters. And I have to, like, run away. Like, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please die. Also, I'm shooting 2 bullets? Please die. Please die. Please die. Okay. So, we're working on it here. So the cool thing is, though, is now, right, I have a spawn point, so I can be like, alright, well, I want enemies to spawn from here. Whoops, not there. I can do that. So I can just basically grab, like, this axis and be like, alright, spawn over here. And then I can just duplicate this spawn point and send one clear, like, over here. And then I should be able to duplicate here. We're just going to kind of build, like, a 4 corners type scenario. Like that, right? And then I basically just make sure I add these to my my spawn locations, right? So there's spawn 1, spawn 2, spawn 3. And now when I hit play, we should have monsters or enemies spawning and then tracking me down. See how it's coming at random spots now? It's hitting this one quite a bit. There's one over here. There's one over here. So yeah, we have random spawning working now. Oh no! Alright, so there's that. Now, I'm just trying to get like 15 minutes. What else can we get working? So we got spawning working to a degree. The enemies are coming out. Yeah, right? It's funny because, like, I mean, it is technically random generation, but, like, that doesn't mean that the same number is not going to hit a lot. It's really weird. And I'm not, like, a randomization expert, but I do wonder if it's tied to, like, because of the seed number used or something, or how that works. Alright, so we've got the guy moving, shooting. So let's blow some stuff up. So I think, first of all, if a bullet collides with something, it should destroy itself, right? Pretty straightforward. So let's go to our bullet. So we're just gonna like, so the way I like to code stuff, and everybody has their own methods, but like if I'm building up a behavior, I generally like to start by just like coding a few things and like testing piece by piece as I build it up. If it's something I've built a bunch before, you may see me. Oh, there's a bad guy. I don't see these bullets destroying themselves. They're still bouncing. Let's go see what's going on with that. Not getting any errors. It's on a default layer, so it definitely can collide. Did I spell collision wrong? Is that the issue? Is that I don't know how to spell words? I bet that's it. Okay, we see him over here. See him? Yeah, the bullets are disappearing. Beautiful. Got that working. So now we can say, yep, I do that a lot too, and it's weird because Unity has a lot of European spellings, so I actually get, like, I spell behavior, like when I'm writing stuff up for work, I use the European spelling, right, O-U-R, and then I have to go, like, stare at it for a minute, because mono, if you look up here, right, mono behavior, spell European, not American. It's just stuff like that. I also am starting to get confused with like Z's and S's. Alright, on collision enter. So if col.gameObject.compareTag so here's where that enemy tag comes into play, right? I think compare tag is a capital C. Yeah, Visual Studio Autocomplete is really helpful, which mine is not doing that right now. I think there's something wrong with my integration. I'm not sure, though. Alright. Let's go see where the monsters are spawning. There's one right there. Alright, now we got monsters dying. So here's the one thing, thinking about it, I don't want the bullet to handle that. And here's why. If there's any other effects that we want to happen, the bullet is gonna have to like call those from a separate class, and that'll be annoying. So I'm actually going to the enemy, and we're gonna do void on. So we're actually going to do this. If col.gameObject.compareTag is bullet. I gotta set it's not even doing my auto formatting stuff I like either. Yeah. And then we could make like a little particle effect. So let's do that. So basically, if I get hit by a bullet, I die. And let's actually do this too. And we're just gonna say GameObject.name is dead. So that way we're just gonna get a debug so we know it died. Heads up for optimization, debugs are actually kind of expensive. Oh, duh. No, I want GameObject, not name. GameObject does not contain definition for compare tag. Oh. Goodness, I am failing my capitalization today. There we go. Oh, you guys are using Monogame. I've heard good things about Monogame. Dude, I'm glad. I'm glad Create with Code's been good for you. Uh-oh. Bullet is not defined. And I think the Create with Code series is super cool. When they told me about it, I moderated the first one. I was amped. I thought it was so cool. Yeah, this type of stuff is great. Any chance you get to learn things, I am all for. Alright, here we go, here we go. Let's go hunt some cubes. Does that cube look stretched out to you? Okay, now we're killing cubes. See, now we can do fun stuff. So let's do... Let's create an effect. Right? They look stretched. Let's go look at the prefab and see if maybe I just like mess with the scaling. Huh. I wonder if it's the spawn points. I don't know. We'll mess with that later. Hey, I'm glad you're having a good time. We'll be there Wednesday, though. For office hours. I'm excited to see what Carl got with his prototype. He's been... We might be, dude. I've been isolated for 5 months. So, who's to say? But you know what we can do? See, these look normal. These look like normal boxes, right? Hey, these look normal. It must just been the camera angle. The yellow one, though, looks... enemy, this one? You look normal. You look normal. Look at yellow. No, yellow's normal. It is just the camera angle messing with me. Okay. I wonder if it's the shadows are making it look stretched. How's everyone's progress coming along on the challenges? This is week 4 or 5, right? So you're supposed to be doing some of those labs. How are those? I haven't looked at them yet. I will probably have to do that tomorrow to prep for Wednesday, actually. Okay, 15 more minutes. So we've got spawning, we've got killing. So what I want to do now is I'm going to create an effect. Just make a particle system. See how that looks in the game view. I like that, actually, just default, but let's make that duration like 3.0. I don't want it to loop. We're going to do a single emission. We're going to do one burst of 150. Okay. Rate over time is going to be 0. Oh, I did labs over the weekend? Cool. That's how it looks in the game view. Might be a little dramatic. Gotcha. It's tough to get coding done with, I assume when you say young pup, you mean human pup, not dog pup. But either way, my dogs get distracting, so. So the only thing I don't like about this is how, like, it's a lot. Maybe not 150 in a burst. Maybe just do like 50 in a burst and see what that looks like. And then the other thing I would want to do is I like to use color over lifetime for this. So what you can do, you can define color over lifetime here, and you can define your opacity on top. So what I like to do is grab this and set my alpha to 0, and then you can kind of pull that over. But then you'll get something. Where's my curve? Let's pull my curve up. Where's my color over lifetime curve? So let's hit play. Maybe still too many bursts. 25 maybe? Yeah. And let's do like... Let's do size over a lifetime as well. And what we want to have it do is actually... I like to have them start out big and then go small. Let's see what that looks like. Let's curve a bit. Kind of like that. What is this track? So this is from King of Fighters. Come on, Google. My player doesn't show me like names very well. Invincible Flame from King of Fighters 2001. So I'm basically just spinning. So yeah, I generally just spin like random classic video game tunes when I'm streaming because I figure it won't get me DMCA'd. You never know. But yeah, the SNK arcade stuff, they had, whoever their composers were incredible. I'm a huge fan of the SNK work. Let's see, start size? Maybe I started at like 2. There we go, that's better. I like that. And then we can just do take size over lifetime, and we'll just like push it back this way so it fades out better. And it's just like a randomized burst up. Yeah. And then what I actually want to do too to make it more dramatic is you know, another game that has really good music from old fighters is Garou Mark of the Wolves. They're shorter because they're like the 45-second like MIDI loops or whatever, but they're their choice. I really like them. What was I gonna do? The emission. So let's actually change our emission shape. Instead of going on a vertical cone, let's do a sphere emission and see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that better. That's like a nice little like explosion, right? And then mode is random. Spread. What if we do like a 180? I guess we can't really. Oh, nope, definitely not that. Okay, better. I like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to name this Box Explosion. And we're going to make it a prefab. And then on my enemies, let's go to my enemy script here. Don't judge the coding. I'm coding in a hurry. I'll have to comment this after. Remember how I talked a lot about commenting code in the class? I believe that, I promise. I just didn't this time. Field. Serialized field. Let's do game object, and we're going to call it explosion particle. Alright, let's do this real quick. Mesh agent to use to navigate game and find player. How often should your enemy reset its pathfinding? Yeah, it's not bad when you're working on it a bit at a time, but the problem is once you start getting like more complex and you start making like big changes to your code, it gets bad. How strong is the character? Use this to set number of bullets to kill. XP points gained, etc. Use this for death effect. Ooh, more Mick Gordon coming up. Find the play game. Alright, better. We can document what this does in a little bit here. So we've got this, if it's a bullet, right? We're going to do instantiate, explosion, and we want to make sure that it instantiates at GameObject.transform.position. I think that's all we really need to worry about. And then what I'll do for cleanup is, well, let's make sure that works, and then I'll put the cleanup in there. Uh-oh, I see an error. Clear code. Oh, duh. That's actually not what I want to do. We're going to say explode go equals instantiate, and then we'll just say explode go.transform.position is transform.position. So basically it's going to snap it to the transform. We'll see what happens. Alright. Oh, left that one in the scene. Oh well. Where are the boxes? Oh dang, they coming. Alright, here we go. You ready? Let's get out. Let's get away from these boxes. Dun dun. Ah, no reference exception. Because if you go to my enemy prefabs, you're going to see that I didn't assign anything. I wrote all the code. I didn't do the easy part. So box explosion. Box explosion. Box explosion. Perfect. And then we'll take this one and we'll remove it from the scene. Alright, let's see what happens. Hey, look at that. We got some explosions happening, kids. We're doing it. We're blowing up boxes. Make this bigger. Oh, now I can't move. Alright, so now the next thing I want to address is that we have all of these, look at these explosions that are just hanging out, right? So there's no reason for us to have that. Yeah, you saw it too, Selks. Yeah, like, oh, look at all those box explosions. Which is why I'm just going to make a script. And I'm going to call it destroy after a time. We'll say destroy after time. And it's going to be super easy. Oh, what up, AGL? Yeah, thanks. It's coming along for 2 days of coding or 3 days of coding. So let's open this destroy code. And it's going to be pretty easy. I'm just going to have a... This is like a utility class, right? Float, alive time. And we're just going to say destroy. So the destroy method actually has a time, right? So I'm just going to say destroy game object, alive time. And let's see. Let's go to our prefabs here. Let's go to our box explosion. And we're going to add destroy after time. And let's say it can be alive for 4 seconds. Let's see how we're looking now. Uh-oh. Coming this way? No, coming this way. He's coming up. I do think I'm going to work on the shooting mechanic. Like, oh, whoa, where'd you come from? I must have been on top of a spawn point. Yeah, I think for this game, the spawn points are going to need to be like little houses. Like, I'm almost thinking, like, I don't know if y'all played Gauntlet, where, like, the monsters would come out of caves or whatever, and you could blow up the caves. That might be kind of fun. So the one thing I would say is this is not very challenging, right? Size of the level, monsters coming at us. So I think for me, I would want to make it so that you can... I mean, you could definitely do that. You could put a trigger around and you could disable spawning if you're standing on it. I think, for me, I just want to have something showing there as a spawn point. Even if it's a mesh without a collider, just something there that they can spawn out of so that the player knows to avoid it, right? That could also be a fun point thing where if you hang out by one and it happens to be spawning a lot, maybe you get like a point run or something. I don't know. But that's my lunch break. It's an hour. I gotta go tackle some more spreadsheets. So that's where we are right now. I don't think I'll get a stream tomorrow because I've got the children and parents coding together I gotta teach. If you are a parent and you want to do that with your kids, it's at 2 p.m. Central Time, so 8 or 9 BST. Of course, yeah. Of course, Benham News. We'll see what I get next time. I should probably document this better in my my design document, so I know what I'm building, because right now I'm just trying to blow stuff up. Anywho, it's good seeing y'all. Happy Monday. Good luck. For those of you on the other side of the ocean, good night, I suppose. And anyone else, we'll see you later.